Alrighty, so without question, Mewtwo is the absolute best and probably the most important raid boss in Pokemon GO, and that is of course because it is one of the most powerful legendaries that you could get in this game. And of course, when it comes to Mewtwo, getting XL candies is going to be extremely important, especially if you are looking for its Mega Evolution or if you have the Shadow version of this Pokemon. It's definitely a huge grind to max it out to level 50, but if you are farming this boss, then you are going to be good to go. And of course, a lot of players are looking to defeat this boss with the least number of trainers as possible, and of course that's going to require the absolute best of the best Pokemon that you could bring. But of course, you will want to bring the right counters and you will want to have the right setup, otherwise this boss will be very difficult for you to defeat. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about all of that in today's video. This is going to be a comprehensive guide on how you can defeat Mewtwo with the least number of trainers as possible. So without further ado, let's roll the intro and get right into the guide. And how's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count here with a brand new raid guide video for you, and this is a really exciting one. It is the absolute best raid boss in Pokemon GO, and that is of course Mewtwo. Now every time Mewtwo is back in raid battles, this is definitely one that a lot of players continuously farm up. Of course, Mewtwo was originally an EX raid boss that required a lot of effort in order to get, but ever since it was released as a normal raid boss, every time it returns to raids, it ramps up the raid activity in every single community. And that is of course because Mewtwo is one of the most coveted legendaries in Pokemon GO. But alongside its highly coveted status, it is also one of the most difficult raid bosses currently in the game. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it has a very versatile moveset, and it is a very powerful Pokemon in terms of its stats. So of course, getting this Pokemon is going to be really difficult if you are ill prepared. So yeah, let's talk about what counters and what setup you could bring in order to defeat this boss. First and foremost, we have to talk about Mewtwo's typing. It is a pure psychic type, which means it's going to have really specific counters, but it's also going to counter a lot of Pokemon that you would think would be a very strong counter against Mewtwo. Some of the standouts that you could bring is of course Pokemon like Darkrai. Darkrai is a very powerful dark type Pokemon with very powerful moves. It is going to dish out quite a lot of damage up against Mewtwo, and of course if Mewtwo has very powerful moves like Shadow Ball and Side Strike, it's going to resist a lot of those charge moves. In the most ideal scenario, you will want a full team of maxed out Darkrai with the moves Snarl and Dark Pulse, mainly because these moves are going to dish out the most damage against Mewtwo. And that is of course because of the Dark typing, which is strong against Psychic types, as well as the stab damage bonus that Darkrai will bring with these moves. And of course, Darkrai does also have Shadow Ball and Focus Blast, and both of these moves do a lot more neutral damage, but because Mewtwo is strong against fighting types, Focus Blast is definitely going to be the weakest move that you could bring. And then of course with Shadow Ball, it doesn't benefit from stab, so it may not necessarily deal a lot more damage than Dark Pulse. And of course Darkrai isn't the only dark type that you can bring. You could also bring Weavile with dark type moves. This is also a very powerful dark type Pokemon, and Weavile is going to be a lot more accessible than Darkrai. If you do not have a full team of Darkrai, then you can alternatively bring a full team of Weavile with dark type moves that will also deal a lot of damage, but do understand that Weavile is an ice type along with its dark type, so if Mewtwo has Flamethrower, then it's definitely going to melt down all of your Weavile, so make sure you watch out for that. But if you are going up against Flamethrower, then maybe you could opt to use Pokemon like Tyranitar. Of course, at the time that I was recording this video, Mega Tyranitar wasn't available available yet, but if it is available at the time that you're watching this video, then Mega Tyranitar is an absolute must for your team. And of course, I'm not talking about Tyranitar with its Community Day moves. You will want Tyranitar with purely Dark type moves. And of course, I'm talking about Bite and Crunch. Now, there's plenty of other Pokemon aside from Dark types that are going to be really strong against Mewtwo. You could opt to use a lot of Ghost type Pokemon as well, although I would highly avoid using any Gengar, mainly because Gengar is also a Poison type, and Poison type is weak against Psychic types. So if you bring a whole bunch of Gengar, even a Mega Gengar, expect to see it get completely decimated from Mewtwo, so I highly suggest bringing other Ghost types instead. This could include Chandelure with Ghost type moves. It could also include Giratina Origin Form. These are very powerful Pokemon up against Mewtwo, so do consider bringing these Pokemon instead. Now, as I mentioned before, Mewtwo is going to be one of the most powerful legendary Pokemon that you could get through raid battles, and of course it's going to have just a plethora of different movesets that you could get. But I would say that if you want a particular moveset that's going to be the absolute best that you could use, then it has to be Confusion with Psystrike and Shadow Ball. Of course, both of these charge moves are legacy moves or exclusive moves, but for the most part, Mewtwo will have these moves in its move pool with Elite TMs, and that is definitely something worth using those Elite TMs for. Psystrike deals just a little bit more damage than Psystrike, which is not an exclusive move, but it is going to be a lot more valuable in the long run, especially if you're using that Mewtwo against fighting types in gym battles or even in raid battles. And then of course with Shadow Ball, it is the highest neutral damage move that you could have with Mewtwo, so it's definitely going to be useful. Mewtwo is weather boosted by windy weather, so if you're looking for that weather boosted Mewtwo in raids, then make sure you're raiding Mewtwo when it is windy outside. This is going to allow you to collect a lot more XL candies to max out your Mewtwo's, so it's definitely worth doing every time it is windy weather. And speaking of weather boosts, if you're looking for the perfect IVCP for Mewtwo, when it is not weather boosted, you will want one that is 2387, and if it is weather boosted, you will want it at 2984. These are the magic numbers when it comes to Mewtwo raids, and that is what the perfect IV is going to be. Mewtwo is a very powerful Pokemon in almost every situation. I mean, it's going to be a very big powerhouse when it comes to gym battling, and of course when it comes to raid battles that require a Psychic type Pokemon, there just is no other match against Mewtwo. Of course, there's a lot of other powerful Pokemon that are Psychic types, but some of them are more glass cannons, like for example Deoxys's attack form. But when it comes to Mewtwo, it is one of the most well-rounded Pokemon in Pokemon GO, and it is something that you will definitely want as part of your arsenal. And of course, because Mewtwo has so many different varieties of charge attacks, it's going to be useful in pretty much any situation. So you will want to make sure you have plenty of good Mewtwo's for all different circumstances. So yeah, really, you should be raiding Mewtwo as much as you can whenever it is in raid battles, if not for just the candies alone, because XL candies are going to be extremely valuable when it comes to Mewtwo. And it's not just in raid battles and gym battling, Mewtwo is also very versatile in the Master League. If you're using this Pokemon in your Master League teams, you will find a lot of success, but it is contingent on what IVs it has, so make sure you're going for those perfect IV Mewtwo's. It's definitely going to be a big help in the Master League. And the big cherry on top for why you should raid Mewtwo as much as you can is of course because it does have its shiny form available as well. So if you are able to pick up a whole bunch of shiny Mewtwo's, you are going to have one of the best trade chips in the game by far. And if you're lucky enough, you might even get a very high IV shiny Mewtwo, and that is definitely something that you can consider as one of the best trophies in the game. At the time that I'm recording this video, I have a 98% Shadow Mewtwo, as well as a 96% with 15 attack Shiny Mewtwo. So of course, every time Mewtwo is out, I'm looking to farm it up as much as possible, especially during windy weather, because I want to max out both of these Pokemon. I still do not have the 100% IV Mewtwo yet, so I'm definitely hoping hoping that I will eventually get this through raid battles or at least through some sort of trade. I do have a whole bunch of shiny Mewtwo stocked up, so hopefully I'll be able to get a few mirror trades in with lucky trades. Who knows, I'm really still hoping for that Shundo, and Mewtwo is definitely one of those Pokemon that you absolutely want a Shundo for. Hopefully I'll be able to get it one day, but in any case, I'm really happy with the Mewtwo that I currently have, and I'm definitely looking forward to powering them up to the max level eventually. So yeah, there you have it everyone. This is my comprehensive guide on how you can defeat Mewtwo. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you have a very powerful Mewtwo, or do you have a really high IV Shadow Mewtwo or a shiny Mewtwo? Let me know down below. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video everyone and found it to be very helpful. If you did, make sure you share it with your friends. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if it's your first time here. I am Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, and I'll catch you all later.